Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I hope you're having a good day and welcome back. Today I'm going to do some slow, stress relieving, anxiety busting, just working into relaxing, chilling, for all those key workers out there in the middle of the COVID-19, the lockdown, and for all those people at home that aren't able to get out quite as often, that feel that they need some help to unwind the body. Just start to close the eyes. Try and focus on the mind so that you start to notice the breath. As you exhale, just drop in the shoulders away from the ears. And feeling the rise of the inhale breath. So you're lengthening and you're extending into that breath, and just pause in between the inhale and the exhale. Palms can be on the knees, on the shins, or cupped. However you feel comfortable. This time, as you inhale, just exhale and drop the chin down in towards the chest. Very end of the exhale, just hold it there. And when you're ready to inhale, just release. One more time, at the end of the exhale, as you drop the chin down, at the end of the exhale, take the tummy back towards that spine and hold it there until you're ready to inhale and then release. So taking the arms up above the head, see if you can gaze towards the thumbs. And then take those fingers onto the shoulders. And just slowly drop one ear towards the back of the palm. Elbows outstretched, back through centre, and exhale opposite ear towards the palm. Back to your centre, and then start to take the elbows in together. Drop in the elbows towards the mat and just circle in those shoulders. One way and then the other. So inhaling as the elbows rise and exhaling the elbows towards the floor. And this time, as you open the arms, palms to the ceiling, inhale, palms touch. As you exhale, take a spinal twist. Bring one palm to the opposite thigh. Exhale on that twist and let neck follow the body towards the back shoulder, towards the side of the room where it's comfortable. As you start to release back to the front, take the arm and cross at the elbows and find a wrap the forearms. You might only get the backs of those hands together. If you can wrap the forearms, bring the palms back together. Inhale and rise up. Bring the elbows up gently. And then as you exhale and release, take it the opposite way. Use the breath to inhale and the exhale as you twist. So lots of twists and lots of forward folds. Just to try and work, and remembering just to cross at those elbows and wrap if you can. If you can't, just bring the palms onto the shoulders. You might be able to raise up gently there into the elbows. Inhale, raise, exhale, release. Then just come to lie on your back. For some of these poses, as we come towards the end, we will be using a strap. So pause if you need to here and get a hold of a tie, a strap, or a long length of something that you can use for a forward fold. Just gently bring the back to the mat. One palm onto the chest, the other just below the navel, and observe that breath. The breath the relaxation, the focusing on the relaxing into the respiratory, the relaxing inhale and exhale is just as important this time as working on the poses. So a little of each. The union of the body, of the poses, and of the mind, of the breath. So start to bring the knees inwards towards the chest, thighs towards the chest. And then slowly release, extend, and slowly let one straight leg hover towards the mat, slowly down. Use the inhale and the exhale breath just to encourage the thigh a little closer. Flex the toes towards the ceiling. And maybe you can take the knee across to the side of the ribcage and back in. Just pull it back in so you feel a bit of a pinch into the colon area of the body. Being kind to yourself. If you feel that you can't do any of the poses or you're feeling really stiff because of the tension, come and lie in Shavasana, lie on your back or into child's pose, which we will do shortly. Swapping over sides. So we're going to raise up with the leg, flex the toes and gently release it to the floor. If this is too much for the lower back, just gently bring it down without slowly. Just work with your body. Again, I'm taking the knee around to the edge of the ribcage and pulling it back in a slightly more intense stretch. I'm going to place soles of the feet on the floor so the knees come towards the ceiling, hip width apart those feet. Take the arms to the sides. Exhale the knees across to the side a couple of times either way as you inhale through centre and exhale across. Once you've done that, just start to have a little flow so that as you gaze towards Alexa, stop. As you gaze towards the opposite palm, let the knees fall to the side. Sorry about that with Alexa. So a couple either way, and then as you release the knees next time to the side, roll over and push yourself gently up. Now bring the sole of one foot into the opposite thigh and you're bending those knees, finding your sit bones, so getting nice and flat, finding straight as you can. As you inhale up, you're going to start to twist once more, just taking hold of the shin, gazing again towards the back. Some twists also allow the relaxing, the soothing of the lower back. So we're taking it the opposite way, sole of the foot, bent knee into opposite thigh. You might find one side's easier than the other. Flexibility on one side is often more apparent. Just pay attention to that, but don't judge it. And then as you bring the knees together, just roll over into your tabletop position. So wrists under shoulders and knees under hips, in line with the hips. And massage those intestines. So drop the tummy towards the floor so you find a smooth arch in the spine. Inhale, gaze up towards the ceiling, just as much as your neck will allow as you gaze. So watch that neck. Exhale and drop the crown of the head towards the floor as the chin gently comes towards the chest, dome into the spine. And take the tummy back towards the spine. And a couple more. I'm rooting into the palms of the hands, active arms. So we're not sinking into the arms, we're active. And we're finding that ground in the roots growing out imagining through those palms. Back to a straight spine after you've done a few of those. Taking one leg behind you and pushing into the ball of the foot. And then as you exhale, bring the knee into the forehead. And take the leg straight behind you. Get the balance into the front palms, so feel the pancake hands, and then see if you can take the opposite arm out, as if you're shaking someone's hand. And exhale, knee in towards elbow. You might be a bit wobbly like this here. So just find your grounding. If you need to keep the foot down for a moment and find that grounding, do so. Three times, taking it the opposite way. Try and find a straight spine. So instead of looking up, look towards the mat. Flex and point the back toes if you want to. And you remember I said I was going to come into a child's pose. I'm going to do the version with the wide knees and sinking down. So we're sinking between those the hip bones. So hips come down towards the thighs. We're going to sink, walk, maybe the hands forward. I've got a bolster here. If you want to use cushions, please feel free to. And you can just take yourself slowly, one way and then the other. If you want to pause the video at this and relax there just for a moment, do so. Relieve the stress and just bring attention to your breath. So after you've done that, just tuck the toes, sit back, toes all spread out nice and wide. And inhale, rising up. Gazing up, going tall through the body, and then taking the hands to the mat. Place the palms, one at a time, walk the legs back into plank. So try not to allow the lower back to sink down too much. Straight through the spine. Bring the knees to the mat. Clip those elbows to the body. Release, chest down, all the way through, forward and up. Knees can stay on the mat. Relax the shoulders onto the back and gently bring yourself to the mat. Place the palms directly under the shoulders. Clip those elbows. Push the feet, the tops of the feet into the mat. And slowly inhale and rise up, dropping the shoulders back. Minimum weight in those hands into cobra. Exhale into child's pose. And then as you bring yourself back to your table position, one leg comes through. As you inhale up, you've got a nice right angle between the shin and the thigh. Inhale, grow tall. Maybe just gently look up. Gently trace a line back if your neck allows. You'll feel a bit of a stretch into the thigh. Into the thigh, the back thigh. Hands come down. Exhale and twist. Looking towards the top elbow. Or where your neck will allow, if it needs, just to look to the side. As you come back through your centre, place the hands either side of the feet, bring the back knee up, activate into the back leg, and then inhale and rise up with that top arm. Do feel free, if you want to use a block underneath palm. Slowly come into the mat, placing the back heel down. I'm still using this block. If you've got two, that's even better. You've got one either side of the foot. Or you may be able to just bring the palms to the mat and just gently use the exhale breath to release the chest towards the thigh. Inhale, push into the soles of the feet, rolling up gently and rising up. And now turn the hips to the long side of the mat. Doing triangle pose. So again, we don't want to lock that front knee. We want a tiny micro bend. Palms face away from the body. Backhand on hip if you want to feel what's happening. As you inhale, stretch forward. Once you can't stretch any further, again, use that block if you want to. Place the hand on either setting, according to flexibility, or just bring the hand down to the top of the foot, to the ankle, to the floor. As you inhale, the top fingers to the ceiling, gazing upwards towards the fingers and wriggling. You're trying to find a straight line all the way down the side body. As you come back, with that block or with that book, if you want to use a book, just move on the back foot gently and centre the hips to the front. And then see if you can walk those hands forward over the leg. Feel a stretch in that back calf, back. Inhale, rising up. Releasing. As you bend the knee, come down. Turn on the ball of the back foot. Stepping back into your plank. Chaturanga Dandasana, which is rolling forward slightly. Clipping the elbows so you've got straight forearms and releasing down slowly to the mat. Four knees, chest and down. As you place the forehead down on the mat, have a little rock up and down. Legs up, down. See how it feels. Gently just massaging into the navel area. Come into Sphinx if it's easier. And you'll still feel a nice massage. So in your Sphinx, you can take the elbows wide and release and push back into Sphinx. Exhale, release. Elbows come wide. Inhale, back to Sphinx. So you can choose your option. Circle the arms around the body. Let the backs of the hands come into the, just beside, just below the hips, and then push, inhale up with the legs. Release on the exhale. Inhale, see if you can raise up with the legs and the chest. Into locust. Inhale up. You might feel that body heat now. And walking the opposite leg through. Inhale, rising up. And exhaling to release. Back to centre. Hands come down. Take the back knee up and reach up. Lock again if you need to. Bring the back heel down. Start to exhale the chest towards the thighs. You straighten into the front leg. And then as you take the tummy up towards the spine, engage the core, the navel muscles, and rise up. Exhale the arms behind you. You can interlace or opposite elbows. Make sure the hips are facing the front. So you may need to readjust the front of the mat. Inhale to grow tall and exhale and just start to fold. Nice straight spine. Releasing. Front hand comes forwards. Release the hips to the long side once more. And find triangle the opposite way. Top hand comes down, turn on the ball of the back foot. Step forward gently into forward fold. Slowly taking tummy to spine, round and rise up. And exhale, release. So this time, I'm going to try a little eagle, just to try and release all those toxins. So I'm going to stand sideways on. I'm going to inhale up, ground into the soles of the feet. One arm comes under the other, joining at elbows. And see if you can wind forearms around. And in prayer, hands, all the backs of the hands, all the shoulders. Start to sit back, as if you can sit in a chair, get the weight back into the heels, lifting the toes up gently, finding a balance. And then we're going to do opposite arm to leg. So think of which arm is on the top, use the opposite leg. Have a little play around until you know which one. Opposite leg comes over and bring the toes down towards the mat. Thumbs roughly in line with the nose. Sink down low, stay here. We'll see if you can come into eagle and take the foot all the way around, wrists and elbows and knees roughly in line. If you feel you're balanced, you can start to take the elbows down towards the knees, but don't feel you've got to. You can stop at the first stage. But find a gaze point. Slowly unwind yourself. That was a bit quick, but we're unwinding slowly. We're trying it the other side. So whichever arm you had on top, you're doing it the opposite way. Slowly sinking. All the way over. Stay there if you need to again. Take the foot off the mat and see if you can wrap it around the back of the opposite calf. Stay there or slowly come down. And unwind. Wasn't so balanced today myself. So before we come down, just start to take the arms wide. Have little movements. Sideways movements. Arms outstretched. Back to the centre. Turn the toes outwards. Hands together. And slowly sink towards the floor into your version of a squat. Again, you'll feel a little pinch into the colon area. Bring the elbows into the inner knees if you can. I'll come this way so you can see. Sit back. You might find this really quite hard if you've got tight hip flexors. So muscles. Take a block. Sit on it. And work with it. Still finding. So you can come here if you prefer. Stay in there for a few minutes, and then releasing, removing the block, coming down, finding bound angle pose. So bringing the soles of the feet together. Again, use this bolster, cushions, just bringing it in. We're going to try and extend the spine, rather than round, but extending. So you can use the cushions, you can hinge from those hip flexors, and you can start to come forward. Bolster's nice because you can just relax. Bring it up if you want to, where you are. Bring your cushion up. Have a little rock forwards and backwards maybe. If you want to use a block, do feel free to bring the block into the inner soles of the feet. Try it, just give it a go. Palms. Well, actually move it forward slightly so you're extending. You need it so you're extending. So you might want it just in front of the toes. Bring those, find what's best for you. Bring one fist on top of the other. I need to adjust that. See if you can slowly exhale down and bring the forehead down towards the fists. So finding where you can be using the equipment. Or if you prefer, just minimum weight in the palms, elbows into inner thigh, inner shins. A little rock back and forwards with the breath. Engage the core as you come down. Tummy towards spine. Stay there, just for a moment with the eyes closed, where it feels comfortable, and feel the stretch into the hip flexors. Release through the lower back. Maybe even take a twist either way. Use the breath, do it slowly. Inhale, exhale. Take the feet to the wide edges of the mat, knees together, palms, hands behind you. Just start to exhale the knees across to the side. Work with it, so just turning slowly through the neck. Knees come one way, so the knees come into the right, gaze to the left, or the opposite way, left to the right, so knees one way. For example, they come into the left and you look into the right. If they come into the right, then you look into the left. And then start to come back into lying on the back. So you can slowly allow yourself down, or just gradually release down. This time, find a happy baby. So bring the knees in gently and take the arms towards the middle of those knees. Picking up the outsides of the feet, relaxing the head on a cushion or on the floor. It's comfortable for the neck. And then take the soles up towards the ceiling. A little rock on the spine. Bring the soles of the feet together. Take the hands just behind the legs. And if you can, just inhale the chest up. So you come into a kind of supine Paschimottanasana, forward fold. As you bring the knees back to the chest and thighs, take the hands behind those thighs and have a little rock on the spine. Massage that lower back too, and then slowly pointing the toes towards the mat, bring the thighs in towards the chest. Taking the legs wide and bringing them down. Taking the arms over to the sides, and you're going to hinge from these hip flexors. So as you take the hands into the hip flexors, once more grab the bolster into the middle of you if you want to. Taking the arms wide, you're going to start to hinge. Can you see I'm hinging there from the hips? Coming down with a straight spine, feeling the length into the inner adductors, relaxing. A little flow with the music. And then slowly coming up. So bringing the feet together. This time you might want to use a strap. Might be easy to show you this way. Use a strap underneath the soles of the feet. Get the chest near the thighs. And we're going to look ahead of ourselves. So you might only get to this stage here, but do try to do this rather than round through the spine. You're trying to look ahead. Maybe now as you get to about this stage, towards the big toes. Stay where you are if you need to. If it feels really uncomfortable, you can get your cushion, you can place it underneath. This is a bit big, but underneath those legs. So see how it feels for your hamstrings too. And slowly exhale towards, body towards the legs. As you inhale, let the hands sweep up those legs. I'm going to push that away. Use the strap if you want to once more, and slowly start to lower down. Minimum weight in the strap. If it's too much, again for the lower back, bring up those knees and just gently come down. Otherwise, flex the toes. Minimum weight, as I say, slowly come down. Ooh, I've got the block behind my head. Let's move that. just lying here, taking a moment to come back to that breath, the inhale and the exhale. Finding your soles of your feet together again on the floor. Spread the arms wide. And then slowly work one knee across the body to stack it on top of the other as you find a spinal twist. Try and keep the shoulders on the mat. So again, you're working through gently, very gently turning through the neck and look into the opposite palm to the way the knees are going. Inhale, sweep the hands back towards the shins and inhale that chin into the knees, into the tight ball. Exhale and release. Rolling over to your side and just pushing gently back to a seat, comfortable seat. Finding your resting, comfortable position on the mat. And you might want to stay here now that you've done some poses, just to concentrate, turn your attention towards that breath. Just finding, maybe rolling the shoulders, rolling away the last, any stiffness, one way and then the other. Exhaling, chin down to chest. Inhaling the arms up and following the gaze, and then exhale and release. Stay here as long as you want to. But thank you, and I hope that has helped you relax a bit. I feel very relaxed within the body, within the mind too. And you can feel the breath, hopefully, it's just slowed down a little bit. And just try and do this as and when you feel a little bit stressed, and hopefully it will gently release and make you feel calmer. So thank you for joining me again. Namaste.